Okay, so I was thinking that I might do a piece on showing some of the changes that have occurred just in the past few weeks. And this is some things that came across my screen today. So this is Face Like the Sun. And I've been watching Gons for years, and I had never seen this piece. Brain Machine Interface, BMI. First of all, it was always called BCI, Brain Computer Interface, which was Obama had actually spent, he had dedicated in a speech something millions of dollars. I think it was 100 million, but I could be wrong. But anyway, this was years ago. This was published October 13th of last year. Today is May, what is it? May the 8th? May the 9th. Okay. So, 2017. I watched everything that Gons ever did, and I even bought a bunch of his DVDs. I've always appreciated his ministry. But this is a piece I had never caught before, and I'm starting to wonder if some of the changes that are being caused by the quantum effect are also even some of the posts of people. So look, he's talking about this brain-machine interface. Check this out.
Brain, he perceives a sense of touch that comes from his own hand, even though we're not actually touching his hand.
It's a really weird sensation. Sometimes it feels kind of like electrical, and sometimes it's more of a pressure. For the most part, I can tell most of the fingers.
So they wired, here we go, they wired some electrodes
moment before we're actually
into
going
this
to
guy's
inject the
brain.
electrodes into the surface of the brain. Everybody has to be in agreement that those are the spots we want to pick.
Interesting how it moves around.
We took a lot of time trying to figure out where to implant the arrays based on the pre-surgical imaging, based on
So anyway,
Lisa's index finger, middle finger.
With definite precision.
And he can feel this robotic arm. So he's got tactile feeling information coming across that. And in another scene,
it's been life-changing for them.
this woman is feeding herself a candy bar, controlling that.
The way we've been able to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish here has been collaborations, and these collaborations across departments, they cross disciplines. We've been able to get funding from the National Institutes of Health.
Now, I never want to come across like I just don't care. These people are in wheelchairs and they're paralyzed, quadriplegics or paraplegics, and they can't have any feeling in their extremities. This is an amazing thing for them, but it's leading to a much more demonic thing, where in Daniel, where it says on the statue in the Nebuchadnezzar's dream, in the last kingdom is they will mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they will not cleave one to another. It talks about the clay, the iron, and the miry clay. And so here's an interesting thing, and even Gons goes on to point out. I'll just let him say it.
Normal human being to powers that, can be abused. So that's really the thing that we're warning against, and lots of science fiction have touched on that. But if you notice at the very end of this video, there's a tag that clearly states that this was in conjunction with the research done at DARPA.
Yeah. So primary support for the study was provided by DARPA, which is a military research arm. Yeah. And they're just doing this for the betterment of people who have damage to their bodies, I'm sure. That's, yeah. So.
Right? Because they want people to accept this as the next phase. And again, the research end of it is quite remarkable. I admit it's fascinating. I admit it's great for some of these people who are paralyzed to have these sorts of opportunities, but spiritually speaking, let's talk about that. That's what I want to know from these people that are willing to put themselves in these research projects and, allow their bodies to be experimented on. Who do they believe they really are?
That's a great question, right? Who do we give glory to? So that was one thing is finding pieces that people did that weren't there before. Maybe it was for them, but you all know how this whole quantum effect, Mandela effect thing works. And then here's a scripture. Now this is in the NIV, and most of the changes that people have talked about is the KJV, the King James. But the changes are also occurring in other versions of the scriptures. But this is, I'm hard pressed. Here's what it reads. This is Ezekiel 23, so you can get your own Bibles out, and it says in Ezekiel 23:20. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses. Now that's pretty pornographic. And it doesn't seem like it was there before. This looks like a quantum effect on the scripture. In the KJV, it says it a little differently. Of course, this is online. I could break out one of my Bibles over here, but I'm sure I'll find the same thing. Very seldom do I actually not find it in a hard copy when I find it even online. So, it says here, she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. Remember, an issue of blood with a woman, so the stuff coming out. Yeah, right? And the word asses, I think, only appeared in the King James Bible in the past once. And I remember people would chuckle, "Ooh, the word ass is in the Bible." Now it's throughout the King James Bible. So that's one quantum affected scripture that I noticed today. Then I find this spirit. Write the stories you've always wanted to tell with the characters you've always wanted to create. Right? Protect your game communities and social platforms. We'll move beyond games in the future and bring humanity to digital interactions. We breathe life into digital interactions. Artificial intelligence. SpiritAI.com. I would encourage you to look. Of course, they got to use the all-seeing eye, right? Pretty impressive. So what do we do? This is what we do. Our talent, the team behind Spirit AI, artificial intelligence. We should probably look up some of these people in another video and just check it out. This is something I just wanted to make everybody aware of and have them go have a look at Spirit AI. So let's go back to the slideshow. Let's see which one looks. Latest in psychological and computer research. How do we do it? Play the film. Interesting. Let's see what the film is.
We've always been enthralled by stories. And we've always fallen in love with wonderful characters. But until today, the greatest characters have lived in movies and books. We breathe life into digital characters, so they respond like you and me. Now you can create extraordinary characters.
I'm sorry, I've got to pause this because I think the pieces, the snapshots that they use,
Characters have lived in movies
yeah, that,
and books.
yeah, they're usually Mandela affected or quantum affected characters, right? Or stories or movies that we know have
We breathe life into
that we know have been affected in a major way. So, all right, let's go on.
players will lose themselves in them. Characters who use natural language processing and machine learning to react believably to language and their environment. With personality and emotion you can tailor. Characters with unique memories of each player and story, enabling different experiences of the game
Always the eye.
every time, so you can tell the stories that would have remained untold. And feed players' appetites for engagement and interaction. With uniquely satisfying characters and rich experiences they'll treasure long after the story ends. Because the greatest stories of tomorrow will come from games. Where will your characters take you?
Spirit AI. Nice production. So it's a UK company. Huh. Interesting. Our companies, yeah, we saw that one. What was the last one? Humanity. In the future, will move beyond games and bring humanity to digital interactions everywhere. Right. Our products enable game studios, VR creators, robot engineers, and platform developers to breathe humanity into their creations. Kind of like God breathed the breath of life into man. So we'll be like God. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe I should make a new video just like this. Yeah. Wow. Isn't that something?